Boom, we are live, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Welcome to the Life as a Chad YouTube channel. And I thank all of you for being here, wherever you may be. And of course, however you may be listening. This is going to be a fun, quick video. I recently saw just some clips of other people's podcasts with regards to this chick just going around all of these places and just totally red pilling when it comes to men and women, sexual dynamics and interpersonal relationships and all of that good stuff. And then, of course, on top of that, there are some people who say that I am not totally fair to the fairer sex, as they would call them. And so I want to watch this and react and give you my thoughts and maybe help out one or two of you when it comes to how you view intersexual dynamics and things of that nature. And without further ado, let's get into this. All right, so here we go, guys. Here we go, fellas, and the couple of chicks who watch the channel. Here we go. Here we go.
Now, tell me what you do for a living.
Oh, I love my husband.
And how did you
Huh? Wow. Okay. Nice and bubbly. She kind of has that nerdy, cute look. Nerdishly cute, I would say. Not stunning or anything like that, not the most beautiful in the world, but see, the point is that I'm making here, if you couldn't tell, is and I don't think a lot of chicks realize this. I would say 90% of guys would gladly, if not 95, would gladly be or easily be with just a average to slightly above average, nerdishly cute woman. And that's really it. I think most guys would choose a easygoing, easy to be around, average chick, as opposed to a stunningly gorgeous, bombastic, manipulative, and combative female. Anyways, let's keep watching.
get that awesome job?
In a viral TikTok causing quite the reaction.
Oh shoot, I didn't know we had all that going on here. Okay, so here we go. We are absolutely diving in now. I'm gonna back this up and listen to her response here.
I love my husband.
And how did you get that awesome job?
See, I mean, I even have to just pause it there because it's sad, but even in this modern age, that just that statement, her by herself saying, I love my husband, that's what I do, would be considered obnoxious by some, not by me, certainly not by me, but they would get butthurt over that. Just that statement alone would trigger some, because the current state of a good portion of modern women is a perpetual state of hatred of men, and anything that is given to men has to be the hardest thing to get with the least amount of any individualism given up, or any, it just has to be painstakingly hard and just difficult. And this portion again would find what she says to be tough. It would be tough sledding for them. So I absolutely love that statement. It tickles my heart, the heartstrings. It plays the violin in my heart when she says that.
Well, I became a better human being, and I became feminine and also shocking, submissive.
See, that's the other thing, is that she points out that this process that she underwent is her and her thinking these things is because of her becoming more feminine, which I agree. A big portion, or the big reason of the combativeness of and just how tough sledding it is for some people to be in a relationship with women is because they're masculine. They're not feminine. I mean, they're not masculine like men are, but they're masculine traits because they have to do it every day at work, and they have to put on this masculine armor to where it just becomes part of their skin and their personality. And in the end, in a relationship, you get two people who have masculine traits, and eventually one wins out over the other. And a lot of times you have these masculine women who end up winning, and that's why you see these ultra beta cuck men in a totally unnatural state of being. Let's keep watching.
So that was the secret.
So what are your tips to women that want to be a housewife?
To embrace it. It's an actual job. You just can't get it in the public or private sector. Like, you need a man to hire you for it, but that's okay. Because if you think about it, you submit to your boss who makes you clean stupid shelves at your retail job, right?
Oh, that is so true. It's so true. And I will never understand how some women are perfectly fine submitting to a boss at work for a fucking paycheck, rather than submitting to someone that they say they love, But these are also people who refuse to acknowledge gender differences. They refuse to acknowledge the reality of our species and the different strengths and weaknesses each gender has.
Like, wouldn't it be better if you were cleaning your own shelves at home? You know what I mean? And your boss wants to sleep with you in a good way.
And I also think that this is some decent advice. I wouldn't say it's spot on, but it's decent advice. Let's have a listen.
At home.
He's answering, where do you find these men that want to provide and protect? Now, I would argue that most men want to do this. And this is the biggest thing that feminism gets wrong, is it basically assumes that most men want to bear down and totally infiltrate and subvert anything feminine, which could not be further from the fucking truth. It really could not. Most men love women so much that their very nature of being is propelling feminine qualities upward. When men see true feminine qualities, it as I said, it tugs on their heartstrings. It really does.
What I mean, and your boss wants to sleep with you in a good way.
And where do you meet these men?
Well, I think women should work for the men that they want to pursue. I know that sounds crazy, but it's really easy. So if you think about it, like, you want a lawyer, right? So then you should be a paralegal, or if you want a dentist, then you should be a dental hygienist. But these are...
Now, the problem that I see with this is, again, a big problem with this is just women being in the workforce in general, which I'm not saying that I'm totally and completely opposed to. But what ends up happening is when they get into the workforce, when they become a paralegal, in order to survive, they end up putting this cloak on, this masculine cloak on, in order to survive. They end up taking on these masculine qualities, which then in turn, even though they may have gone there initially to find their husband, by nature of them gaining these masculine qualities, it's now near impossible to actually land one of those guys, because they've lost all of those feminine qualities that they came in with. I can't tell you how many chicks that I knew from high school who were the sweetest things, so feminine, so girly girl, who, any guy, and I know this on a personal level, that they were with, they just could not get enough of, just were like obsessed with them. Okay. And I then meet them, how many ever years later, and they've been in the workforce, and they've gone to college, and they're now these, just hardened and sad and man hating feminazis, and it's because they've gone through the ringer. So I would, it's not that I'm disagreeing with what she's saying. I'm just pointing out that one little anecdote here that maybe she didn't think of when she was answering this question.
Considered, I guess, high value status professions, but I think that's a really good model that not enough women utilize.
Okay, and let's talk about this high value thing. Okay, high value, I would consider top 10% men. Okay, for myself, I would say that I fit of the Kevin Samuels, 5 aspects of what would be considered a high value man. I would say I fit 3 of those. Okay, that's top 10% of men. Now let's just go with the financials of a high value man, shall we? Okay, only like 5% of you women are going to get those guys anyways, okay? And the men who are both attractive and wealthy, okay, that's only going to be like 2% of you who are getting those guys, okay? Most of you are going to be getting average men, and quite frankly, you should be happy to get them. If a guy has a full-time job and is trying to move forward and is willing to stand by you and provide and protect, you should be happy that that guy is even interested in you. Never mind the good looks and all this other shit. You should be happy that that guy even has enough shit together to where you would consider being with him, because that is the whole point of the woman. Is if you find a guy, especially if he's young, that has those things going for him, you can, Kevin Samuels and all these red pill guys have talked about this also. The status of a high value woman is a woman who can get into a man's life and not take over, but help raise it, and not necessarily raise his life, but raise him up, not by forcing him to, but by nature of you being such a good woman and so loyal and submissive to him. It just encourages him to be the best man he can be. So point is, if you can find a guy who makes you laugh and you're somewhat attracted to, and he has a full-time job, I would say, you're hitting a home run there for the most part.
Women will bully the woman who is the secretary that marries the doctor, okay? But who has the last laugh? Like her in her McMansion with her husband who's high and the babies. Like that's who has the last laugh.
So that's gonna do it. I think I'm gonna watch some more of her clips. Generally speaking, I don't think men should be following women's content, and I still believe that, but that was certainly an interesting video. I think she was spot on. I've seen some of her other content. Let's see if she has any other videos here. I've seen some of her other content, and it's most of it is spot on. I don't disagree with much. And the main point that I want to make here is that all of these things that she thinks are a byproduct of her femininity. And as I said at the beginning of the video, is she the most drop dead gorgeous chick physically? No, she's not ugly, but she's also not, drop dead gorgeous either. But her mindset makes her probably 2 points hotter. Okay. And take that for what it's worth. All right, let's check this one out. And this is just a short, so let's see.
In my last video, I told you how adults are my problem, and I have to get them to take me seriously, which means I have to consistently remind people to take me seriously. I have to set up boundaries.
Adults are your problem? Adults are your problem. You're not your problem? No.
If people do not use the correct pronouns, the correct language, the correct title, the correct name, then sometimes I am forced to remind them to. And if they continue to refuse, and I don't mean by accident, I mean to actively refuse, then I get to a point where I maybe have to cut them out of my life.
Oh no! What a loss! What are we gonna do without you?
In my last video, I told you how adults are my problem, and I have to get them to...
That was pretty funny. I'm not gonna lie. That was pretty funny. Man, she's a cutie pie. I love the content. So yeah, definitely thought some good stuff here. I was hoping that I could find some of these, some of her TikTok clips, some of the longer versions. But so there you guys have it. I mean, that is when I talk about a good wholesome woman. This is what I'm talking about. Now, I don't know how she is in real life or anything like that, but just some of the stuff that she says verbally is right on. And I would say, women, that if you were to just listen to 50% of her advice, you would be 50% happier. Um, and I would be willing to bet on that. All right, guys, thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to hit that subscribe button, like, comment, share. You know the drill. I will see y'all next time. DBAP, don't be a pussy willow, and facts or feelings, because your feelings just don't matter. Bye bye.